this flame represents the burning flame of our love, devotion, and dedication to God and to Guru. Lighting this incense represents the wafting of the aroma of that love for God and for Guru to all of God's creation, for the good of all, only to glorify God, so let it be. Is that bell getting them going?
Maybe.
I was talking with the goats today and the chickens and everything. It's very nice.
They're pretty cool.
Satchitananda. 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 Namaste and Lakech Jayom Guru. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to our Sunday service gathering here at our Maha Param Shakti Spiritual Oasis, where I don't think we're going to, the mornings are starting to get cooler now. Actually, I'm very comfortable today. I was expecting it to be a little cooler, but no, I think God made it very comfortable in here. How do you guys, are you guys all comfortable?
Mm-hmm. I won't.
Okay.
You want this blanket? Oh, no, I'm good. I got a coat.
Well, so in light of that, I think we might want to move to the afternoons now, and even see what the weather's going to be like in the afternoon a couple of weeks from now. See if it's snowing.
Hope not.
It could be, right? It could be here up in the snow belt. We could be getting snow, right? We're ready, right? No? Yes. We're ready.
My RV's not ready.
Wow.
It's not
It's getting ready.
It's not built for snow.
Oh. You might not be here in a couple weeks. I think you're out of here.
The first week of October, or end of the first week.
That's but next week.
I've got a power issue that I'm working on this morning. There's something wrong with the fuse.
Well, you're the man for that. Then.
Well, I've got to take a bunch of stuff
right.
apart.
He's got the power issues under control here.
Let me know. I've got voltmeters.
Yeah, it's. I think it's simpler than that. I hope.
Wonderful. Well, then just wanted to mention that. Try something. I think we should move it to the afternoon, and even see if that's still okay. I think pretty soon you're gonna have to bring down the tent, and because I don't, we don't really want to get the snow all hot and everything. That'll be, I think, too much for it. So
yeah.
So it's I think that time of the year. So
getting to be for sure.
Yep. So let us begin with our Guru, chanting with our Guru. Guru's the one bringing us this wonderful wisdom and guidance, right? So we want to chant with our Guru, and then of course we want to, talk with God, right? Get established in Source, all the way, right? Of course, God's with us, but we want to really realize it a little more deeply. So we might want to get into a comfortable meditative posture, or just relax and sit back and, we're connecting with Source, right? And singing not to each other, but to God, right? We're not singing to each other. We're not trying to perform anything. We're just putting our heart and soul to God. We're going to chant first, and then we'll pray to God, speaking to God in the language of our heart. So, let's begin.
Come, sing with me and feel you are singing to his listening presence right within you and around you, everywhere.
Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful.
At thy feet, I do bow.
At thy feet, oh, I do bow. Oh God, beautiful.
In the forest thou art green.
In the mountain thou art high. In the river thou art restless. In thy ocean thou art great. O God beautiful. O God beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. O God beautiful. To the service full thou art service. To the lover thou art love. To the sorrowful thou art sympathy. To thy yogi thou art bliss. O God beautiful. O God beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. O God beautiful.
In the forest thou art green.
In the forest thou art green. In the mountain thou art high. In the river thou art restless. In thy ocean thou art great. O God beautiful. O God beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. O God beautiful. To the service full thou art service. To the lover thou art love. To the sorrowful thou art sympathy. To thy yogi thou art bliss. O God beautiful. O God beautiful. blissful, thou art service. To the lover, thou art love. To the sorrowful, thou art sympathy. To thy yogi, thou art bliss. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh my great and wondrous Creator, you are omnipresent. You are in all your children. Manifest your presence in our bodies for the good of all, in order to glorify you. So might it be. Oh, my great and wondrous Creator, you are omnipresent. You are in all your children. Manifest your presence in our bodies and in our minds for the good of all, in order to glorify you. So might it be. Oh, my great and wondrous Creator, you are omnipresent. You are in all your children. Manifest your presence in our bodies, in our minds, and in our souls for the good of all, only to glorify you, God. All the glory to you, so might it be. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you for always listening to, hearing, and answering all of our prayers. Even when the answer is no, we still thank you. Thank you for not giving us what wouldn't be good for us. And thank you for answering our greatest prayer, to send Guru to guide us home to you. Thank you, God, for sending Guru. Thank you, Guru, for guiding us. Now, today, all tomorrows, and every instant, in sleep and in wakefulness, in life and in death, in this world and in the beyond, we will to remain yours always. So thank you for remaining with us as the constantly, consciously responding joy of our hearts. And may your love continue to shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, that we may be able to awaken your love in all hearts and minds for the good of all, only to glorify you, God. All the glory to you, so might it be. Thank you, God. We love thee. It always feels so good to do that. A little more established in source. So next, let's take a look at the energies, the energy traffic for today. We might find it meaningful to us in our actual daily life. These energies for today. And today, well, we'll be kind of brief. It's a short little reading here today. Today we're talking about this 13th tone, right? This one is universal movement or perfect presence, right? Universal movement. That means everything in the universe is moving perfectly, right? That's when it's the 13th tone. It's the final tone, right? After something is manifested, then we got to find out, work the bugs out of it. After we work the bugs out of it with dissonance, then we have complex stability of the 12th tone. Only after that complex stability can we reach the perfect presence of universal movement. Right? Everything working perfectly. It's coming together with this idea of Ak, right? We were talking about it already, right? Ak is this idea of our companions of destiny going with us on this journey that we're on, right? It's not just one life, it's life after life. And real companions of destiny, right? They stick with you. They're on the real path, the true path, right? So, that's what these energies are separately. Let's read from our workbook here and talk about what these energies are when we combine them. Bring this idea of this perfect presence of universal movement coming together with this idea of companions of destiny coming together lifetime after lifetime, right? For that to happen, that would require love, right? Right? This energy today is really about that heart chakra. Because as we know, all of these glyphs are telling a story of how our consciousness develops. And in this step of our consciousness development, the heart starts to come alive. The heart is activated. The love, right? Compassion for each other, right? It is so powerful, so profound. It goes lifetime after lifetime. It's not just till death do we part. Oh no. These are real companions of destiny, right? In this idea of universal movement, all working together in perfect harmony, right? So, in our workbook, it's explained what is this when we bring these energies together. What are we playing match game with today? Today's galactic signature is Kin 130, right? What is that? Where are we in the Zolkin? Anybody know? Right? Because if you're
In the center.
Yeah. I mean the center of the center. We're in the center column, right? Well, guess what? At midnight tonight, at exactly midnight tonight, when these energies switch, right? This is the 10th solar frequency. We're in the center. Today's the center, right? Right here. You got 3 chakras down here. You got 3 chakras up here. What's this? That would be the center, the heart, right? And that's when we pick this up, right? We get that loving sustenance from our mother now in this evolutionary development of our consciousness, right? That's how we have the love to be companions of destiny going on and on. We got the logic back in Chick-Chan a little while ago, right? Then we're not fully human yet, right? That's coming up in a couple of days. First, we have to get love before we can be fully human, right? We got to have reason, we got to have love, and we got to get that together and get that in balance and have that working. Then we're fully human. We're almost just beasts until we get love, right? We just want to survive. We don't care. We'll kill anything, need it, right? But then when love comes, oh, now we're thinking about it a little more. Okay, we're not just going to kill anything and eat it, right? I believe we were so primitive at one time, we didn't care. Logically, we needed to survive, eat our kids. But then love came, and no more eating the kids, because we love them, okay? Of course not, right? It almost sounds silly to us, right? Never eat our kids. Come on. Whoa. We had to evolve out of that. And this is telling us how that evolves. And so we want to know, where are we in this energy? And we're right in the middle of the Zolkin. I bet we're feeling some energies, right? We should be. The universe is really trying to get our attention now while we're in this sacred mystic column. Really would like us to get in tune with each of these energies every day so that our life can be harmonious, so we don't suffer. So when these challenges and things come, that sorrow and suffering isn't there. We know, we know what it's all about. It's not tearing us up inside. So, white cosmic dog is what we call it, right? Dogs are loyal, yes. When you think of, right, what do we say? Man's best friend, right? That's the dog. So that's why they call this white cosmic dog, right? It's a white energy. It's the 13th tone, so that means we're closing out a wave spell, right? That purifying wave spell, that white north wave spell ends tonight at midnight, right? When we're right dead center in that soul. Oh, believe me, I'll be at the altar at midnight, okay? Because I want to be there. And part of that transition that's actually happening, that center of the center, right? I know where to be, right? And so that will be very helpful for me. We say Oshlahun Ak, right? Oshlahun is that 13th tone, and Ak is that white dog. After the crystal tone of cooperation comes the cosmic tone of presence. White cosmic dog, Osh Lahun Ak, guides and teaches us to focus on and intentionally experience the balancing of unending expression of our heart chakra in order to access the perfection of presence. To be fully receptive to the moment of now, or in other words, to absorb and become the moment, is the most genuine experience possible. Right? That's why I will be there at that moment at midnight and experience that moment. It is the center of the center. The circulation of presence as a moving force is what unifies all players in this grand orchestration of the dream of existence. The white cosmic dog, Oshlahunak, points out that loyalty to truth frees the heart, and that all companions of destiny are found on the one path of truth. Also, white cosmic dog, Oshlahunak, teaches us to utilize our innate powers of endurance and transcendence, which is to continue to be and to rise above in excellence in order to break through past ceilings of limitations. Through the energies of white cosmic dog, Oshlahuna, the cauldron of creation is ever reminding us that our appointment with existence is in the present moment. Through this discernment, we can metaphysically take magical flight, spiraling back to our source to start anew. That's Ak, right? We go back to source, and then what? We start again. We're at that 13th tone, right? What do? When we get to that 13th tone, then we go back to Hun, right? And we start again. It's just another cycle. Cycle after cycle. So any questions about it? Any comments? Any concerns? Before we move on to our Guru's message for us this week? Nothing? We're all good with Oshlahun Ak? I always like Ak. It's one of my favorite ones. I probably shouldn't have favorite ones, but I really like Ak a lot. That's one of my, when I first read that, I'm like, aha, now I get. I was a how as soon as I read Ak, because I was like, aha, now I get it. We're all going life after life, right? It's mentioned in the Bible even. Right? Sometimes I get them mixed up, the names exactly. But Christ and John the Baptist, right? They were Alicia and Elijah, thank you, in the previous life. They said so right in the Bible. Oh, the Bible talks about this reincarnation thing. So many people in the Catholic tradition are saying, no, 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 no. There's no such thing as karma. I mean, sorry, reincarnation. Right? Well, how can they explain that then? Right? If it says right in the Bible. Right?
Everybody interprets it the way they want to interpret it.
Ah, thank you for adding that in there. Yeah, right. And what kind of confusion is our world in now? While everybody says, well, I'll interpret it the way I want to interpret it. I think it's this. We got wars going on, don't we, over this?
I've had from
Right.
Dawn.
I'm pretty sure that, if, Muhammad and Christ were hanging out right in here, they'd get along just fine, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Why is it we can't get their followers to get along out there in the world?
Because they're looking for power. They're not looking for peace.
Yes, but I would like to suggest it's what you originally said. I got my own opinion about that. Excuse me. Don't tell me what God's like. I'll tell you what my grandmother said God was like, and that's what God's like. God's mad, he'll get you. You better watch it. That's what my grandma said. Right?
That sounds like the problem's not so much interpreting for oneself, but interpreting for other people. It's me telling you how to interpret it. But if I interpret it for myself and take my own best action, that's the best I can do.
Oh, I would say actually the best you could do
In alignment with someone.
would be to follow someone who knows what they're doing. And because they did it, right? And so probably the best thing you can go on your own. Oh, you can blaze a trail of your own. Sounds like you're complicating your task, though, since there already is a very well paved trail, okay, that is proven to be the direct course right there. Oh, yes, you can say no thank you. God gave you that choice, right, to say no thank you. I will do this on my own. I will find my way. You will. I assure you, you will. There's no one's going to get lost along the way. Everyone makes it home to source. Right? It just depends on how you want to do it. Right? There's the material, worldly pathway. There's the purely spiritual God, Jesus way. And then there's that middle way. Right? And, well, we're allowed to take that middle way all on our own. We're also very much allowed to follow a God-realized master, showing us, guiding us directly all the way. And it's your opinion that's why I said I think the best way, right? Because everyone's going to have their own opinion on what they think the best way is. And me personally, right, I think the best way would be to, I like to go off the path once in a while, but I do like the path. Okay? It makes it very easy, right? It gets me straight to God. And I do like to explore. But,
No, guidance and guides are good, are useful,
guides, yeah, can be useful, right? Could help. Could lighten could make it a little easier for us. Because I'll tell you, I don't know about you guys, but before Guru came, I was really struggling hard. I was not getting much progress, okay? And when Guru came along, that changed. All that changed, right? Because I got on a path.
It's kind of funny because there was something in my mind growing up about religion, and whether confusion or not really caring or this didn't make any sense type of thing. Mm-hmm. And as I got older and read more and took courses because I had to in college, mm-hmm. And this, that, and the other. And even movies, and all the wars and all the crusades and all
Mhm.
the things about the various religions conflicting, and it always is out there saying, so that's God. That's how I'm supposed to believe in God. This is how I'm supposed to believe in God. And so you get to the point where you're saying that none of this makes any sense. And I think that maybe you have to get, for me, I had to get to that point that none of it made any sense until somebody said, no, there's one God, and you can get a lot different paths to God, but there's one God. And it's people that have messed up the story, because for whatever purpose they may have in their story, it's more for their advantage than it is to reach God. And I think that, Yogananda was just the one that happened to hit for me. Somebody, it might be something else, someone else, or something that triggers it for another human being.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
or anybody.
That's why there's so many out there.
Yeah. and I think that's okay.
It is.
But every time you say that to someone who really believes that there is only one way, and it's their religion, you are a heretic. You will go to the devil.
Yes.
That's
what they were taught.
That's
right?
what they were taught.
And that's their opinion.
Right. And
right?
and I used to be worried about all that, or it bothered me, and now I kind of laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, you have a right to your opinion.
Right.
And in America, you still have a right for to an opinion.
Right.
Hopefully for a long time yet, but it doesn't. That's okay. You believe whatever you want to believe,
right.
And I'm going to believe what I want to believe.
Yeah.
And so,
it is okay. I feel bad for people who are so afraid all the time. I used to be afraid all the time.
yeah, I agree.
Because of what I was taught about, quote unquote Christianity. It was terrifying, and people who go to sleep at night feeling guilty about everything and feeling like they're going to go to hell, or they're worried that like their kids are going to hell because they're not following the right path, so to speak. Like, I just feel bad for people. That's got to be a crappy way to live, having all that fear.
And some of those people, I've actually had experience where, some of those people are actually like in authority.
Oh, a lot of them.
Going based on that. Right? Like I ran across a police officer one time who had tears in his eyes thinking my soul and his soul and all these souls are going to burn in hell. This is a police officer walking the streets right now, with a gun on his side right now, going out doing police work every day. And his police work is influenced by how he feels. It has to be. Right? This is why we have all this conflict in the world. Because everybody says, I want to go my own way. I want to do my own thing. Right? And we have a lot of conflict going in this.
There's a line in one of a movie that I saw some time. Medieval, but the head of the church is talking to maybe it was the sheriff of Nottingham, I don't know. but basically he says, what do you think how do you think the best thing with church to control the people is fear. And so we put the fear of God in it. And he just smiles, but that's
the way it is.
That's really the way it is. And it's powerful people that want to control. And what the Catholic Church is one of the most influential and powerful and moneyed, wealthy organizations ever. And
they're pretty well organized, huh?
Oh,
yeah.
Pretty well. They work together, don't they?
They're
not saying no. I'm going to do
they cover
my
each
own
other's
thing,
butt when it comes
right?
to.
No, because they'll kill you, won't they?
Yeah.
No, you're going to do what we say, and it's going to stay like this. And it would have been good if they just didn't force people to do it, right?
And-
it
and
could
can-
have been great
and
if they
protect
weren't.
and protect their own when they do wrong, beyond belief.
Yeah,
In
the
terms of things.
corruption, basically.
Yes, they're
right?
very corrupt.
And it's because we've fallen into a state of forgetfulness. We forgot that we're a soul, right? And so we're out there squabbling with each other, right? And
Positioning.
right, so Guru's going to help us this week with that, and talk to us about the soul, right? The immortal soul. Let's see how we doing on time here. Are we okay? So the immortal soul, right? If we remembered we were a soul, then we wouldn't be fighting so much, right? So let's see what Guru's going to talk to us about, reminding us that we're souls, right? Guru's has all his life, he was always telling us about our true self, right? The soul that's in this body, right? We're not this body of flesh, blood, and bones. We've known that, right? But what are we if we're not this body, we're not this mind? Well, we're the immortal soul, right? This formless, invisible consciousness, right? It can't die, right? It's always blissful. It's the soul, right? That's what we actually are in here, right? Guru's guiding us to, almost like introducing ourselves to us, right? We get to meet our real self, our immortal soul, right? Because a lot of people don't realize or understand their self, right? That's why we call it self-realization, right? And so this week, Guru's reminding us that all of the masters, all the saints and sages, right, have all taught that beneath this mortal body, this physical form within here, right, is the immortal soul that sustains not only this body, but spirit sustains everything, right? You might think that you're the body. You might think that, you're the mind, but you're not, though, right? We're not the body. We're not the mind. We're that soul that sustains the body. It sustains the mind. But it's not the body. It's not the mind. You see, brothers and sisters, well, we're like a wave, right? On the surface, or on the bosom, Guru likes to say, on the bosom of the ocean of spirit, right? I like to say the surface of the ocean, right? The bubble, right, that's kind of on there, right? The sea can exist without the waves, but the waves cannot exist without the sea. And similarly, spirit can exist without us people, but can we, the people, can we exist without spirit? We couldn't, right? Impossible, right? You see, you're not a mortal being. You are an immortal being. You're made in the image of God. You're made in the image of your Creator, your source. Right? We've all heard it a million times. You're made in the image of God. What's that mean to us? Right? It means don't let anyone ever call you a sinner. Right? No matter what you were yesterday, you are a child of God now and forever. You always were. You are right now. And you always will be a child of God. Right? God made you in God's image. Not by accident. Right? Not on a whim. Right? So when you make your mistakes as a child of God. Not as an outcast. Right? You might think that, but that's not true. No matter what your faults are, God will take you home. God will get the dirt off you. Right? And Guru reminds us that nothing will make us happy if we forget God. Right? If you forget your source, how can you expect to be happy? Right? And Guru reminds us that everything will be ours if we're willingly serving that source. Right? always remember and affirm to yourself, right? That self-talk, right? Say, I am the creator that owns the universe, right? Because we're the child of God, God owns the universe, right? We own what God owns then, right? Just like the children own what the parents own, right? The kids say, yeah, that's my car, even though they didn't go out and buy no car, right? That's our car, right? So I can hear people saying, how is that even possible, right? Well, Guru says the trouble is we don't know how long we've been in bondage. We don't know how long we've been going with these wrong thoughts of weakness. We don't have a good, maybe no realization even of the extent of the mischief, right? That's already been done by our not being consciously identified with our source, right? The wars, right? They're all going on in the world. Look at, there's a lot of mischief going on in the world, right? And because God gave independence to us people, right? God can't contradict God's own will, right? God willed for us to be free. And God can't just say, okay, now you're being bad and just take that independence away, right? And punish us and say, naughty children, right? No. God arranged it so that we punish or reward ourselves with our actions. Our independent choice of either punishing or rewarding actions. Right? People are suffering from their own ignorance, right? And from the misuse of our God-given freedom of choice. We suffer because of the lack of harmony, right? The lack of harmony between our own nature and that blessed nature of Source, right? Our Creator. What's the nature of, right? We've talked about the nature of Source, right? And in spite of all of God's power, right? Our God, our great and wondrous Creator, right? Right? In all of God's wisdom, all God uses is love. The almighty power of love to lure souls, right? Back from their wanderings in this world of delusion. Back home, right? Back home to that blessed bliss where we came from, right? And so now this sort of persuasion that God's using, there's going to be a delay, right? And so what? God has to wait. God's waiting on you, right? God's waiting while the world is just going on in this suffering that it created itself, right? And this is what we call sin, right? These diseases, these wars and famine and cataclysms, right? The results of our wrong actions causing us to suffer. This is sin, right? And we all know, right, that neither you nor I are the controller of the destiny of this world, right? You can't say stop war. So don't worry uselessly about all these terrible things, so-called terrible things that are happening in the world. We would be wise to realize that God never forsakes the righteous. We know that. And God loves all of everything equally, right? And God loves us well. God's taking good care of us in that love. And through God's love, we will see a better world. It's coming. We're in the ascension phase now. It's coming. And our source, our great and wondrous Creator, who's given all this life, we can count on God to rebuild this world in a better way, right? We don't have to put that burden on our shoulders, right? That's God's job. I say it all the time. God, you got a problem. What are you going to do, right? Well, God's says, you can help the world with some constructive thoughts. Right? Let's not let wrong and discordant happenings all around the world worry us so much that we become paralyzed. Right? Yes, it's true. There's all kinds of, not so good situations going on in existence right now. But if a thing is bad, why would you want to make it part of yourself? Why do you want to make those bad? No, we don't want to make those bad things part of ourselves and dwell on them. Grow them in us. Anger, war, hatred, and stuff. Right? Sometimes, brothers and sisters, can't we be our own worst enemies? Guru reminds us we can also be our own greatest friends as well. Right? It's within our own power to choose that which we want to make a part of ourselves. Right? That's what we're dwelling on is becoming part of us. That applies to our thoughts, our feelings, right? Our desires. What do you want? What are you feeling? What are you drawing? Right? What are our deeds? Right? Once the thoughts go into deeds, now it becomes very powerful. Right? And each one of us individually are answerable to our great and wondrous Creator. Right? Human opinions and God's opinions are very different, aren't they? Right? It says in the Bible, my ways are not your ways are not my ways. Right? Even though the world might forsake you, the God of truth will never forsake you. Right? And one who is worshipped by all the world, right? Well, they might not be even true to their own selves. Right? They might not even be acceptable in their own eye of truth. Right? But if you're living and dying only for your source, then you will have acted rightly toward everyone. Right? Didn't Christ's life bring peace to countless trillions, millions of people all around the world? And why? Well, we all know that Christ was very true to God, right? He was very true to his source. And to be true to God is to be true to all, because God is in all, yes? Christ, Krishna, our masters, right here, these saints and sages, they are great reflections of God, perfect examples for us to follow. Right? Thus, we may know that we too are potentially children of God, right? We're trying to be like our gurus, trying to be Christ-like. We're all children of God. We are God's children. Children of God, right? But we really got to realize that. We've heard it, we talk about it, but are we just following our own opinion and misunderstanding maybe? Could we, right, not actually know it, but just kind of heard of it? We got to really know in our heart that we're children of God, right? Then we won't have this anxiety going on in here, right? A kitten grows up to be a cat, yes? Puppy grows up and it becomes a dog, not a chicken, right? Okay, and we're children of God, right? We can't grow up to be a chicken. We have to grow up to be God's because we're children of God. We can't grow up to be something else. And brothers and sisters, I'm praying that that consciousness is coming to you now, not someday, right? No one should ever consider themselves to be a sinner. You're not a sinner. Whatever your errors, right? They belong to the past. Your errors are not you. They're not even yours. They're gone. Okay? Now, God is yours. Your source is yours. That's yours. Right? Think about that. That is yours. Christ, Krishna, all of our gurus right here. Our great line of masters. Right? Larry Mahasaya and Babaji. Swami Sri Yukteswar and Yogananda. Right? That's the ones that we've chosen to follow, right? And they're ours now then, because we chose them. They're yours. Take them. If you accept them, they're yours. If you don't accept them, then, well, they're only not yours because you didn't accept them. You can, right? They are yours. Hold that truth in your heart. Keep it deep in here. It'll add some peace to your life, right? In every thought that you have, remember that. And one of these days, when you least expect it, you will realize. You won't just hear about it. You will realize that you were just dreaming that you were a man or a woman, right? And you woke up, right? You awoke, and you found that no, you're not this body. You're not the mind. You're a God. You're an actual eternal reflection of the actual source. And through all of eternity, you've been God's child. Right? That's a long time. And only through this few incarnations have you been playing this part of a human. Right? The greatest sin, if there ever was a sin, okay, is simply our ignorance of our oneness with our source, our creator. That's the sin. That's what causes sorrow and suffering. Right? That's what we call sin here. Sin's not some boogeyman. Right? Sin is just not knowing your source, and there's sufferings coming now. Right? That's a sin. And meditation, our kind of meditation, right, is the greatest way to resurrect the soul from the body. Right? Let's meditate in this way that our Guru taught us how to meditate. Let's practice it a lot. Right? And get good at it. How does Guru have us do it? We're meditating at the feet of the infinite, right? We're meditating on source. We're not meditating on the ocean breeze and the seagulls, right? We're learning to saturate ourselves with source, with God. Our trials may be heavy. Your trials might be very great. But the greatest enemy of yourself is yourself, Guru reminds us, right? You are immortal. And your trials, they are mortal. They are changeable. Right? Remember, the nature of spirit is changelessness. The nature of everything else is change, including your trials. Right? They're always changing, aren't they? Right? And you, the soul, are never changing. Right? And you can unleash eternal soul powers and shatter all of those little trials if you just learn how to do it, right? If you don't look at it ever, you'll never figure it out. It's so wonderful to tune in with our Creator and to gain that trust, right? That's how you get the trust. You'll have to tune in with that to understand that almighty power and trust it implicitly. Then you'll be constantly content. Wherever you are, wherever God puts you, in whatever situation, right? Whatever God makes of you, you'll be fine with it. Accepting all with humility and devotion, right? Then we'll be happy. Right? And then we will realize at last that all trials come from God, not to weaken us or torture us or punish us, right? But to give us strength, to teach us lessons. More strength to keep growing, right? Keep moving towards source, right? God's always providing whatever we need, right? The little centuries of human years are but days. right? Or maybe even just a few hours or minutes in God's consciousness. Right? God's ways are not our ways. Let's wake up, right? We're in the awakening phase now. Let's awaken. Let's rise, right? Up from these dreams of littleness to the realization of the vastness that we actually are, right? That's right in here, right? Our great and wondrous creator, our source, God, right, is hidden in everything, including in you, right? Guru says, come on, come on. I'll show you how you are a spark of that eternal fire. Right? He's teaching us day by day. Right? This universal consciousness, right? That's all drinking together from this bliss, right, of existence. This bliss of the source. Right? That's what we are. We are bliss. We are joy. We're that immortal soul that is intimately connected to the heart and soul of everything. Right? That's what Christ consciousness is. Right? And Guru has a wonderful story this week to share with us to really kind of drive home this idea, right, about realizing that the soul is in this body, right? It's formless, it's invisible, and we are one with God, but we wouldn't want to get egotistical about that, walking around saying, I'm God. I'm God. Ganapati told me I'm God, so I can do whatever I want. I'm God. I'm God. Right? Well, Guru's going to help us with that, okay? Because we wouldn't want to get lost here, right? The title of this story that Guru often told a lot of times when he was around, he said, the title of this is The Teacher Who Claimed to Be God. Did we say this one before? I don't think so. This is an actual experience that Guru actually had. I love it. He shares the real stuff with us, right? He said he went to go see this certain teacher in India because everyone was raving and saying, oh, you got to go see this guy. He is God in the flesh. He's God incarnate. You got to go see him. And that, you know our Guru, right? He went and checked these guys out in person. He didn't just say, oh, okay. No, he went there, right? So he said, I went there in great awe and reverence, right? God, right? And he's going to bow down before God because God's in there, right? And he said, as soon as I looked up at him, he yelled down at him loudly, I am God. And Guru looked him right back in the eyes, and he said with equal emphasis, you don't say so. Oh, that guy got hot. You can bet, right? They always get hot, right? Guru talks right back to him. So you don't say so, huh? Whoa, that's not what they expect to hear. Okay? And so Guru said, hearing his words of defiance, this guy became unglued. Okay? He became furious. Right? He was infuriated. He said, how dare you? He's like, Guru's thinking I, a stranger, had rudely dared to contradict him while his followers were all blindly worshiping him. Right? Guru said, the guy repeated it again. He said, I am God. How dare you blaspheme my presence? Guru had a trick. He said, I took out a little mirror that I had in my pocket. I held it up to his face. I said, look at yourself. Is this the face of God? He said, I see only a plain egotist, an anger slave. That's all I see. Guru said he just got up, turned around, and walked away. And this guy stood up. He's like, young man, come back here. Our Guru, he doesn't listen to the fake ones, right? Just kept right on walking, right? Well, this guy actually followed him. And this is surprising. And so Guru said he turned around. He said, I looked him right in the eye. And I said, please never again utter such a blasphemy as to say, I am God. Never say it. Even though God does, he said, even though God doesn't expose your audacity, you nevertheless are hurting yourself by putting yourself on the throne of your Maker. How do you think that's going to go down? Right? Guru said, then he added, he said, if you sit on fire, claiming that you are fire, okay, then your body will be lit afire, right? Even though the fire has no desire to burn you, right? But by the very fact, okay, of your own stupidity, that you sat on a fire, claiming that you're one with fire, well, you're going to be burned up. Okay? So be forewarned, he said. You yet must live by food and drink, yes. You're breathing, right? You have not overcome death, have you? Well, then never again be so audacious as to claim identity, right? Identity with the supreme creator of the universe, right? Guru said there was a tear in the eye of that saint after he said that. And the saint took hold of his hand and he said, you have taught me a real lesson in humbleness. And he said, from today, I shall never, ever again be so audacious, and I will try my utmost to be a true servant of God. And he said, I assure you, I shall never again say to anyone that I am God. Right? Guru said that then they warmly hugged and parted in tears of joy. No fighting, no war, right? Guru said, we had mutually purified each other by this encounter. And he said, that must have been a real saint, because he admitted his fault when taken to task, right? And we know that's a very rare thing to see in the world. Very few people can do that. Most people say, no, I'm never wrong. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Right? Guru reminds us, saying, the wave cannot say, I am the ocean, right? Because that ocean can exist without the wave. But the wave cannot exist without the ocean. Guru says it's all right for a fully liberated master to say, God has become myself. But he cautions us and says, no one should ever say, I am God. It is correct to say that the ocean of spirit has become Christ. Right? But not that Christ is God, though. Right? The ocean of spirit. Right? You know, as the creator of Christ, Babaji, and all liberated saints, right? God, our source, our creator, right, will always remain greater. Okay? Obviously. And we don't have to tell God that. God knows. God's humble, right? And when God's children unite their humbleness this way with God, right, their source, right, in God's kindness, right, then that will make you feel that connection to source. And you'll know that you and your source are one, instead of just saying it, right? God's true devotees never claim complete identity with God, right? What did Christ say? My Father in heaven, right? He didn't say, I'm the Father in heaven, right? And when that soul's liberated, everyone can see it plainly. We don't need to make an announcement, right? We're all that. Okay, we're all that phenomenal thing, that soul in this body here. Right? That's not so special or fantastic. Everyone is that. Right? And Guru has some wonderful words from Whispers from Eternity to share with us this week. Again, helping us realize, right, that we're a soul here, right? The title is, I Am Thy Tiny Hummingbird. I love Guru's poems. Guru says, I am your tiny hummingbird, whirling and swirling with your power, and I am ever searching for thee. I am your tiny hummingbird, and I am darting afar to discover your rarest blossoms and to revel on high mountain peaks in your colored symphonies, Lord. Lord, I am your tiny hummingbird, and creating by my swiftness the hum that is praise of your name, Lord. I am your tiny hummingbird, dipping my beak into the hearts of life's multicolored flowers. May your grace prevent my tasting any poisonous plants of evil. I am your tiny hummingbird, sipping nectar from the blossoms in humble sideway plots of human sweetnesses, and in your secret gardens of glory. Thank you, God. I love you. I love to watch the hummingbirds. It reminds me, right, that that's what we are, right? Hummingbirds. And, one time Sri Dayamata was watching the hummingbirds, and she says, look, they're just like people. They're fighting over the nectar. They don't know there's enough for everyone. So it looks like we're coming to the end of our time here together. How are we doing with time? We're okay. Oh, pretty good. We want to have time for a little bit of energy healing afterwards, if anybody would like to do that. Also, maybe we might want to talk about this a little bit. What, this idea of maybe the energies of the day, or how that coincides with what Guru's talking about. We don't have to do energy healing. If I know you guys had an adventure going on, so you might want to just relax after all this, So, or we can dive right into some saving, start hauling wood. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm up for everything. Of course, I didn't drive home last night at midnight. Right? When did you guys finally get in?
About midnight.
Yeah. How about that? Right? You guys are working hard, right? So let's relax. Let's get back into our meditative posture. Let's connect with Source again. We're just going to be talking to God, right? From our soul. Forgetting about the rest of the world. That's why we close our eyes, right? And put our attention here at this point between our eyebrows and our hands in namaste in front of our heart chakra. We want to get connected inside here, connecting our all-seeing eye, our all-knowing center, connecting with our center of peace and love, the heart chakra center, praying and talking to God, asking for God's help, for guidance in this new world, and singing our heart out to God, because we want to belong to God always, and we love to sing it out to God. Oh, my great and wondrous Creator, we are sending our voice to you this beautiful day, giving you thanks for our lives. We are the new people you have dreamed of so long ago. We have come stumbling here, seeking to find our way into the new. As we continue our exploration, we look to the past and honor our mothers and fathers, our grandfathers and grandmothers, who went before us and who made all these things, and who made our lives. We've come before you today, neither women nor men, but souls, spirits, bearing the traditional offerings as you have so seen fit to honor the past and to pray for our ancestors and to ask for your help. Help us to find our way into this new world and to be in good relationships with all the brothers and sisters, all the people of all the colors and traditions. So might it be for the good of all, only to glorify you, God. All the glory to you, so might it be. Om God, I will to be thine always. Om Lord, I will to be thine always. I may go far, farther than the stars. I may go far, farther than the stars, but I will to be thine always. My Lord, I will to be thine always. Devotees may come, devotees may go. Devotees may come, devotees may go, but I will to be thine always. My Lord, I will to be thine always. When I die, look into my eyes. When I die, look into my eyes. They will mutely say, I will to be thine always. My Lord, I will to be thine always. I may go far, farther than the stars. Devotees may come, devotees may go, but I will to be thine always. My Lord, I will to be thine always. When I die, look into my eyes. When I die, look into my eyes. They will mutely say, I will to be thine always. My Lord, I will to be thine always. Om God, I will to be thine always. Thank you all. Guru always would remind us to try to hang on to this peace and this bliss that we've cultivated here. I know we're going to go haul wood and stuff, but that doesn't mean we have to forget God. Right? And we're doing seva, right? So that is, right, service.